and this is one that I get from a lot of clients. I know you're gonna say it's gonna depend, but is there like kind of like an average time frame that the probate process takes? And it's a two-part question. What slows down probate for most families?
So on a in a perfect case, if I have an original will and no one's fighting, I mean, I usually can get my clients before a judge in about a month, sometimes 2 months before we get those letters testamentary. Um, that doesn't mean that the probate process is complete when you get those letters. That's kind of like the starting point. So if it's a small estate, I mean, I always tell my clients at least a year to a year and a half. And a lot of it has to do with taxes and expenses. So if someone starts working in the beginning of 2026 and then they ultimately die in 2026, I have to wait until 2027 to file potentially their income tax. Like I need to know if they owe any taxes. So even if I can get my client appointed within 2 months,
Yeah.
I'm still going to have them wait until the next year, consult with the CPA, and like this, do we need to file taxes on behalf of the decedent? Um, on a bad day, I mean, I've had cases that have been pending for 4 years. I mean, it just, you do have 4 years from the date that someone dies to initiate a probate matter.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
But then, things can kind of pull things up that then can cause it to go further. But
that.
I usually, I mean, around 2 years from like start to finally closing the estate is probably about accurate. The
Okay.
things that can draw and hang things up, I mean, people getting greedy and fighting over assets. I mean, that's usually the biggest thing. Sometimes even when I have a will, right, there can be will contests. So they're thinking maybe a sibling came in and coerced mom or dad into signing a new document when they didn't have capacity, right? We file an application to probate that document. There's a mandatory 2 week waiting period for someone to come in to potentially contest. And so if they immediately contest, that can automatically stop the case and then start drawing it out. So um, also if you don't have a will, I mean that's going to also be the biggest thing because when you don't have a will, we have to figure out who are the heirs at law, which are based on our Texas intestacy rules.
Yes.
Sometimes people are like, well, I have a brother, but I haven't spoken to them in 10, 15 years. I have no idea where they are. I don't even know if they're alive. And so
Wow.
if we don't know where an heir is at, we have to attempt to locate them. We have to attempt to serve them. If we don't know where they are, we have to go to the court and ask for some type of substituted service. So it just, a number of things can cause delays, but not having a will is the quickest way to ensure you're going to be in probate for a very long time. Again, depending on your assets.
Okay. So and what can you share with me? So if so would the right process, the correct way to do it is have a will and have a trust that would avoid a lot of this, or what can you share with us a little bit about that for those that don't have a will or don't have a trust set up?
Yeah, I mean, for my number one line of defense always is have a will, right, and make sure it's done by an attorney. I understand people are trying to do things on their own right now. We've got chat GPTs and all the AI
Hmm.
out there. There's online legal documents that you can utilize. Most times when clients do that, the loved one comes to us after that person has died, and we're like, it's not done correctly. You missed a notary stamp here. You missed a signature here. I mean, we have one right now where it should be an easily self-proven will, but the notary forgot to add the witnesses' names on their notary block at the bottom, and the court's rejecting it. So it's just one of these things where you should just come to an attorney's, invest in that document, get it done appropriately, and keep your original document. If
Yeah.
you are trying to avoid probate, there are a number of tools we can utilize. One would be a revocable trust. That's its primary purpose. I tell my clients revocable trust and wills are going to do the same thing. They're going to get your assets to your beneficiaries in a manner that you deem that in the manner that you want. The difference is if we fund the trust appropriately with your assets, we can skip the probate process.
Mhm.
Wills do require us to take it before a judge. But
Okay.
we also have a number of tools now in Texas, like transfer on death deeds and ladybird deeds.
Yeah.
The DMV now actually has beneficiary designation forms that clients can use where you designate a beneficiary on a car.
Oh,
And those are
wow.
also tools we can use to essentially just keep your will, but find ways to work around the probate process. So I would always tell my clients to have a will at a bare minimum, but we can utilize other things to try to keep people out of court.
Yes, great advice. Well, Kat, thank you so much for joining us today. Can you tell me a little bit about your firm? And I know y'all have an office here in Houston, also in Kingwood.
Yep.
Can you tell me a little bit about y'all?
Yes, of course. So we are Rosenblatt Law Firm. The firm has been in existence now. I think we're on our 21st year. There are we're kind of a one-stop shop, we say. We pretty much do everything except for criminal and some personal injury law. But we have three departments. We have our transactional team. They do real estate work, contractual agreements. They do mergers and acquisitions, some real estate issues. We have my department, which is estate planning, probate, and guardianship work. So put together wills, trust, powers of attorney, help clients through probate if they have wills, without wills, and then some guardianship work, right? If it becomes legally incapacitated, we can help you through that process as well. And then we have a litigation team that when all of our work goes up in smoke or people start fighting, we take our file over to our litigation team and say, here's a new file for you. And then they can pick it up, but they'll do a lot of civil lawsuits. So if there's property disputes or if someone thinks that they were fired inappropriately, I mean, pretty much anything that comes in that's litigated, they can do, um, except again, criminal law and personal injury law. We do a little family law as well, but not that's not something we really truly promote. But yes, we have our office in San Antonio. We just opened an office in Kingwood, in the Houston area. So we're doing our best to expand.
Excellent, excellent. And so what if somebody wants to reach out to you and so you can assist them with estate planning or probate? How could
Yeah,
they do that?
absolutely. I mean, you can always Google us. You can find our information online. But we have an email address that's on the website. It's my name, Catherine at rosenblattlawfirm.com. Catherine with a C. And you could just email that directly and it goes into our system. We can get you set up for a consult. You can always give us a call. Our number's online as well, but it's 210-562-2900. And our firm does offer a free 30-minute consultation. So we're happy to sit down and kind of give you just some free advice and then determine if you want to work with us, if we can help you, and then we go from there.
That's great. So if anybody has a question about they just inherited property, they're going through the probate process, you can assist them here in the greater Houston area or in San Antonio, right?
Correct. And I even have clients that may be up like in the Dallas area, in the Austin area. We're always, I mean, in this day and age, we meet by Zoom a lot of times. Even clients that, live in San Antonio and the office is pretty close. Sometimes Zoom is just more convenient for people. So we can do virtual appointments as well.